let's get into it. Is NASA trustworthy? What about all the photos of Earth? You mean like these? NASA 2007, NASA 2012. I mean, if you can't tell that North America is almost twice as big in the image on the right than it is on the image on the left, I don't know what to tell you people, to be honest. So, also, you've got photoshopped clouds. Copy and pasted photoshopped clouds. So, if we're spending $60 million a day to get images of the ball Earth from NASA, why are they copy and pasting clouds? That makes absolutely no sense. Don't worry, Robert Simon admits they're all photoshopped because they have to be. But why? If we have satellites in orbit, what about all these photos of Earth? These are images from 1967 to 2015. Just terrible. And this one from 2015 actually has the words sex written into them. But what about all the photos of Earth from the moon? It's the official NASA photo on the left, and computer shows that the Earth was pasted into the photo. What's up, Bull City? Good to see you in the chat. Fake. It's just fake. None of this stuff's real. Where are all the stars in NASA's photos? Where are they? Well, big complex lies are hard to keep straight when they are compartmentalized, like NASA's lies.
Whilst
from
in
Mark
space,
Cameron. This is from Mark Cameron.
Whilst in space, have you ever looked away from Earth into the black void?
Yeah. So
all
because
the
you can
time.
see, because you can see the stars.
Oh yeah.
You know, and pretty much all the time you can see the stars.
We were never able to see stars from the lunar surface or on the daylight side of the moon. The sky is a deep black when viewed from the moon, as it is when viewed from cislunar space, the space between the Earth and the moon.
And we cannot see stars.
It's not a black void. I mean, it's black, but there's all kinds of little polka dots.
There's all the stars there, and the cool thing is about it, you can see it during the day.
And when you're in space and you're looking into deep space and you're on the sun side of the orbit, the sunlight washes out all the starlight, so you can't see any stars, just like here on Earth.
There's all the stars there, and the cool thing is about it, you can see it during the day.
Yeah, you can, and there's more than stars. You can see planets. You can see moons.
You see the gas Magellan clouds of the
you see
galaxy.
the Magellanic.
These guys don't even know what they're talking about. These are supposed to be astronauts.
The sunlight washes out all the starlight, so you can't see any stars, just like here on Earth.
Pretty much all the time you can see the stars.
Then when you look out into deep space away from the sun, it's the darkest black you can imagine.
Just the inherent beauty of it, the velvet, bottomless bucket of the universe, in like just hanging there in a vast sea of darkness, and the most frightening darkness that you could ever imagine.
Pretty much all the time you can see the stars. From Mark Cameron. This is from Mark Cameron.
Whilst in space, have you ever looked away from Earth into the black void?
And the most frightening darkness that you could ever imagine.
Pretty much all the time you can see the stars.
Good to know. You can see them all the time.
It's absolutely unreal.
Although it appears that the astronauts were moving in the moon's gravity, which is 1/6 that of the Earth, Percy notes that when the speed of the film is doubled, the astronauts appear to be running as if in Earth's gravity. Also, when the footage of the lunar rover is doubled in speed, it looks as if it's driving here on Earth. But there's another reason some believe the Apollo missions were shot on Earth. If there's no air or wind on the moon, why is this American flag waving?
The fact that the flag flaps on the moon where there's no atmosphere means that there must have been a little blast of wind out in Area 51 where they shot this.
Could these questionable images simply be the result of the astronauts struggling to plant the flag in the lunar surface? Or is there more going on than meets the eye? What about the still photography? Some say the designs of the bulky spacesuits would have made it extremely difficult for the astronauts to operate their chest-mounted cameras. The man who designed these cameras is Jorn Lundberg.
Once on the moon, on the lunar surface, in the dress, in the life support system, you couldn't see the camera. They couldn't bend their head that far down. They had no viewfinder, they had to aim by moving their body.
If the cameras were so difficult to manipulate, how were thousands of photos taken with crystal clarity and precise framing?
The pictures that we see that allegedly were taken on the moon are absolutely perfect.
But with closer examination, Casing says flaws begin to emerge. If the moon landings were actually filmed on a movie set, then where's the evidence? According to David Percy, the proof is in NASA's own lunar photos and video.
Our research suggests that images of the Apollo landings are not a true and accurate record. In our view, the Apollo pictures were faked. Many of the images are replete with inconsistencies and anomalies.
Unfortunately, errors were made which are now being discovered.
Conspiracy theorists point out that lighting is a major flaw in the lunar photos. Case in point, on the moon, the astronauts' only source of light was the sun.
They had no extra lighting, no flashes or things like that.
Yet in this photograph from Apollo 14, the shadows are cast in different directions, suggesting multiple light sources.
The shadows cast by the rocks in the foreground should have been east-west, like the LEM shadow.
And in this photo from Apollo 17, again, the shadows are pointing in different directions.
Outside in sunlight, shadows always run parallel with one another, so the shadows will never intersect.
Conspiracy theorists say it's not just the shadows that indicate the use of additional lights, but what has been photographed in the shadows. For example, here's an astronaut who descends into a huge shadow cast by the lunar module, yet his entire body is still visible. How is it that he has not been shrouded in darkness? Here is the same maneuver from another Apollo mission. Again, the astronaut is brightly lit in what is obviously dark shadow. And in this picture, the sun is directly behind the astronaut. His figure should be a silhouette, yet even the smallest characteristics of his suit are recognizable.
It seems like he's standing in the spotlight, and I can't explain that. That escapes me. Why?
And finally, in this picture, with the sun behind the lunar module, the front of the craft is clearly visible. The words United States are crisp and clear. How could these backlit pictures be so detailed?
It's because there's more than one light source, which means they're not on the moon.
But NASA simply dismissed these arguments. But the questions continue. Why do some of these images shot at different times in different places appear to have identical backgrounds? These two photos seem to have the same mountain backdrop, yet the lunar module is only present in one of them. Seemingly impossible, since the LEM never moved and its base remained even after the mission.
What a ride, what a ride.
Some suggest the same artificial background was used when shooting two entirely separate pictures. Background discrepancies are also apparent in the lunar video.
The best evidence are some pictorial anomalies.
in the photographic record of the trip to the moon. There is one for Apollo 16 where the same shot, the same hill, appears in 2 different days. This tape was shot on what was reported to be the first of Apollo 16's lunar excursions.
But it couldn't pick a better spot.
And this video was from the next day, at a different location.
That is the most beautiful sight.
NASA claims the second location was 2.5 miles away. But when one video is superimposed over the other, the locations appear identical.
It's absolutely unreal.
Conspiracy theorists claim that even closer examination of the photos suggests evidence of doctoring. For reference, crosshairs were permanently etched into the lunar cameras, so they would have to appear on top of every image. But in this photo, a crosshair is behind a part of the lunar rover.
This situation is impossible and has to be the result of technical manipulation and doctoring of the image.
And in this photo from Apollo 11, the equipment in the foreground is covering the crosshair, not behind it. And in another from Apollo 12, the American flag is covering one crosshair, and the astronaut is covering the other. When presented with these questionable photos and videos, NASA refutes the conspiracy theories. But despite what NASA says, conspiracy theorists still insist that Apollo was a hoax.
When I looked at all the pictures and all the footage, I'm absolutely convinced, I bet my life on it, that we didn't go to the moon. I know for a fact that we didn't.
I got another video here for you.
Hi, this is Emma, and welcome to Esoteric Detective. There is many anomalies with the astronaut photos claimed to be taken on the moon through the Apollo space missions. I have done another video on these, but out of all of them, I believe I have missed the smoking gun. That is, the proof that NASA faked photographs of the moon. I'm going to show you 2 photographs. Both are official NASA photographs that have been seen around the world many times, appearing in official NASA films and books. Let's take a look at what we will call the first photograph. This photo was taken by Apollo 15 at what is called the LSEP site or Station 5. Looks good enough. We can see the lander in the photograph. An astronaut was behind the lens and took this photograph. All seems well. But there is something very strange if we look closer. And we only see it when we look at another Apollo 15 photograph. Let's take a look at what we will call the second photograph. This photograph was taken at Station 9, called Hadley Row location. That is 1.4 kilometers west from the lunar module, or 1.4 kilometers west of the location of the first photograph. Have a close look. See if you can spot what is in both photographs. Do you see it? Maybe it will help if I put both photographs beside each other. Now take a look. Do you see it now? That's right. The backgrounds are identical. In fact, if we superimpose one over top of the other, they match completely. Not only that, but the lunar module is gone from one photograph. So even if they logged the same photo by mistake as different locations, then there would be no one to take the photo, because there is no lunar module. This excludes any logging or simple photo tagging errors by NASA, since the lunar module cannot be moved. It lands, and then takes off from the same location. The evidence shows, without a shadow of a doubt, that the same backdrop was used. That is, a backdrop on a film stage. Again, let's look at both examples side by side. Do you see it now? They have just shifted around the foreground, one photograph with rocks in it, another with dust. But they used the same background. Now look at perspectives on Earth. We might not be engineers, but we all know about perspective. That is, we have looked at hills and mountains and landscapes all our lives. So we have knowledge in this area. all of us do. So how can you have the exact same landscape in the far background, up here in a different location, that is 1.4 kilometers away? The fact is, you cannot. This cannot happen in nature. Now let's have a look at one other example. This was taken on Apollo 17. Links to all pictures will be in the description. These images have now been cropped by NASA on their website, only offering the view of the hills themselves. There are non-cropped images, however, that still exist. These examples were taken from the Richard D. Hall documentary, Apollo Conspiracy. This, I believe, is the smoking gun. Take a look at what we will call image 3. Look at the background. Now look at image 4. And have a look at the background. One has the lunar module in it, the other does not. So if they are the same location, then who is taking the photo? Since if there is no lunar module, then there is no way the astronauts could be in this location. What do you guys think? Is this the smoking gun? Or can you explain this photograph with other natural means? Stay tuned and subscribe to Esoteric Detective to keep up to date with the strange and unusual. And please give a thumbs up if you liked the video. And do let me know what you think in the comments section.
Alright, we'll go ahead and skip over to the next one.
Now came the most critical part of the mission. Two space surgeons began a complicated operation to replace several black boxes buried inside the satellite. After slicing open the skin, they disconnected hundreds of wires and then reconnected them, using the cargo arm as a moving work platform.
50 wires to pick this guy up here. Okay, that's it's a little bit more. So we can see your hand now. See if we can see your thumb. Okay, well that's a good scan of it. Hey, I got the... That's good.
We can see your hand now. We can see your thumb. Watch again at this pressurized glove as it bends just like a normal thumb would.
It's a little bit more. So we can see your hand now. See if we can see your thumb. Okay, well that's a good scan of it.
We can see your hand.
Here's a great video. Could astronauts even survive in the infinite vacuum of space?
Astronauts.
You can see a little bit of bubbles start going. And, whoa, it started boiling. How cool is that?
But the ultimate and most dangerous test was a huge, specially constructed vacuum chamber.
They were able to pull all the air out to create a big vacuum. That way we could test our suits to make sure there was no leakage.
One such test narrowly avoided disaster. Jim LeBlanc was the test subject in the vacuum chamber.
This is one of the rare instances where they try to use a spacesuit in a vacuum chamber, but quickly realized that it's impossible in a high vacuum, so they immediately started using swimming pools to train and remained silent in the absence of vacuum chamber training by astronauts, which basically is a lie by omission.
As I stumbled backwards, I could feel the saliva on my tongue starting to bubble just before I went unconscious. And that's kind of the last thing I remember.
Essentially, he had no pressure on the outside of his body, and that's a very unusual case to get, and there's very little in the medical literature as to what happens when you have that. There's a lot of conjecture, that your fluids will boil,
You can see a little bit of bubbles start going.
I could feel the saliva on my tongue starting to bubble.
They weren't able to construct proper spacesuits, and they didn't want their spacemen to get boiled, so they went to the swimming pool.
here's where they simulate fixing a space shuttle, fixing the ISS, or working with other modules.
It is. It's the same as far as every rail, as far as every bolt, as far as where every rail should be in place. They have to go turn a bolt 98 times. Space.
And which ISS module is in the pool right now?
Oh, how convenient. I mean, if you were going to fake it in a pool, you'd want an exact replica, wouldn't you?
Actually, everything that we have in the pool except for the Russian segment.
They went from a no-pressure environment to a pressure environment, which makes no sense and simulates zero gravity only and exclusively for the camera.
Scuba diving suit. Brilliant. That seems safe. Just spraying the water everywhere. Oh no, how do I get up in this stupid suit? Pull on my wires. Pull harder on the wires. Almost. Pull harder. Oh, there we go. Now I'm walking on the moon again. Quick, give me back rub. Notice how they're always holding their own hands or wrist? Like a bunch of weirdos. They always have the weirdest poses in space. Globers will say that's ice. Specks of ice. While the thing's going 17,000 miles an hour. If something flew off something going 17,000 miles an hour, you wouldn't be able to see it. Durr. There's just hundreds of these bloopers, guys. You could just do this for hours. Curved solar panels. Yeah, they're more aerodynamic for the vacuum of space. Oh, wait, never mind. They're not curved. What's going on here? Ooh, looks pretty flat to me. And then adjust the camera angle. Oh, there's the curve. Oh, good. Almost thought we lived on a flat Earth for a second. Come on, NASA. Pull it together, guys. You can do it! Faking space is easy! Oh, so real. I love it. Just take my $60 million a day. Give me more of this. It's so nice. I don't know what I'd do without NASA showing me this. I don't know what this is. What happened? All right. Oh, yeah. End of slide. At one point, there were over 1.4 million videos on YouTube of NASA's fakery.
Hello. We're going to be discussing this door mainly. Do you see this door? This door there. Boy, bend. Did you see? Look, bend.
This guy's
He kick
funny.
it with his heels. Bend. Bend. It's not a trick of the light. It bend. Bend. Ah, there they are coming out. And there is the door. Oh, they look like horrible maggots coming out of a not very delicious fruit. There's the door. This is a bend. It's a bending. Look. Oh, this is really, really bad bending. This is not metal. What is this? Why this door open out? All the pressure is inside. Shouldn't the door close out, not open out? Ah, look, it's closed now, it's secure. It looks very strong. Oh, you know the astronaut is now thinking, move out of the way, they are rolling. You stupid. I have got to carry this box. And come through here. Move out of the way. I saw you talking with my girlfriend. Oh, look. It's a bouncy, 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 bouncy. Bouncy, bouncy, the door. Bouncy, bouncy.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The Challenger crew. Yeah, they're all still alive.
Read between the lines. Take a listen.
I'd go to
Shout out Russian Vids. Love you, bro.
the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Yep, just in the business of destroying technology. Sounds good. Take my $60 million tomorrow, too. Thanks, bud. Appreciate it. While NASA tells the world the Earth is a globe that spins, there are many unclassified and declassified Freedom of Information Act documents that state the Earth is flat and doesn't rotate. Read and weep, Globers. Derivation and definition of linear aircraft model from NASA states flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. Globers will say, oh, it's just easier to train over a flat, non-rotating Earth. Yeah, the problem is, if you're flying on a globe that spins, it's not reality. You should train in the most real environment possible, not a stupid flat Earth. There you go. Up close for you guys. Army, Air Force, and university documents as well. There's another one from NASA. States the missile position in space is computed relative to a flat, non-rotating Earth. Read it and weep, Globers. Determination of angles of attack and slide slip from radar data and a roll-stabilized platform. This is NASA as well. The method is limited, however, to application where a flat, non-rotating Earth may be assumed. This is military document, atmospheric refraction errors for optical instrumentation. A comprehensive study of atmospheric refraction errors for optical instrumentation based on a flat Earth assumption will be published subsequently. Another NASA mathematical model of the CH-53 helicopter The helicopter equations of motion are given in body axes with respect to a flat, non-rotating Earth. Army Research Laboratory as input to a flat, non-rotating acoustic propagation model. Wonderful. MIT, a property-based system design method with application to a targeting system for small UAVs, states, targeting methods were considered assuming a flat Earth. Vision based on mobile target geolocation. The object of geolocation problem is to estimate range to target, which can be estimated using a flat Earth model. Wow. Army Research Laboratory adding liquids payloads effects to the 6DOF trajectory of spinning projectiles. The 6DOF rigid projectile model is employed to predict the dynamics of a projectile in flight. These equations assume a flat Earth. Bingo! Tell her what she's won, Johnny. Just keep going. There's hundreds of these documents, ladies and gentlemen. Propagation of electromagnetic fields over a flat Earth. Thank you, Army. Maybe this explains the odd plane route stories. For example, when Argentina won the World Cup this year, they flew to Rome from Qatar, which is not on the way to Argentina on a globe. But yeah, there's dozens of these flight routes that don't make sense either. Also, the FAA trains pilots on a target generation facility that is flat, non-rotating, and also negates a gravity vector. So let's take a look at that route on the flat Earth. Taiwan to Hawaii. Oh, wow. Just a complete straight line with Anchorage right in the middle. Well, that makes sense why they would stop in Anchorage for an emergency landing. Could it be why these organizations use flat Earth maps in their logos? International Aviation Organization, United Nations, International Maritime Organization. Do they know something they aren't telling us? Also, if you count up the sections in the United Nations logo, 16 on the left side, 16 on the right side, plus 1 in the middle equals 33. Highest level of Freemasonry, also the percentage of angels that came down from heaven with the devil. 1982 to 2014 balloon launches from the S-Range Space Center. Approximately 20,000 balloon launches since 1947. What about all the rockets that are launched? Well, this article talks about the rocket graveyard. It says, we've found hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of U.S. Air Force rockets that were tested from 1948 forwards. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. NASA's not the only one faking space. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. SpaceX in the background. Just the exact same image at different parts of their life. I think SpaceX was actually the first ones that were ever able to go back and modify or edit their live stream, as far as I remember. Also, NASA from 408 kilometers away, as opposed to SpaceX from 177 kilometers away. Do you see a problem here? Yeah, most definitely. Red Bull's fisheye lens photo, Neil deGrasse Tyson admits these are fisheye lenses. It's actually flat from 120,000 feet, which is funny because Globers will say you can see curve from an airplane at 35,000 feet. Someone should tell them 120,000 feet is higher than 35,000 feet. So, completely flat Earth from inside the gondola. Also, rising to eye level. It's worth noting. So, but why? Why would our government, NASA, and others lie like this to us? That is the right question. Okay?
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us.
All right, I'm going to skip
Even
that one.
now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window.
Maybe I'm not.
Or when you turn on your television.
I'm going to skip that one because I don't want to get a copyright strike on this video. Follow the money, ladies and gentlemen. $500 billion tax dollars. Now, I don't need to divine NASA's reasons for lying to us, but if someone could develop a scheme to get $500 billion in tax money, might want to investigate. Maybe they are lying, as we clearly saw in this video already. But who founded NASA? Well, these are the founders. Jack Parsons, L. Ron Hubbard, Werner von Braun, and 1,600 of his Nazi friends, Walt Disney, and they're all followers of Aleister Crowley, 33rd degree Freemason, founder of the Satanic Temple, black magician, called himself the Beast, also known as the most evil man who ever lived. And Jack Parsons, L. Ron Hubbard, Werner von Braun, Walt Disney, these are all his buddies. They think this guy's got some kind of knowledge. How sad. Satan shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go out and deceive the nations. Revelation 28 through, well, I guess it's not 8 through 7, it would be 7 through 8. Wow. Teach me how to make a presentation. Insomuch that if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect. If it were possible. Oh, look at all these Freemasonic losers. Freemasonic astronauts include Buzz Aldrin, Gordon Cooper, Don Isle, John Glenn, Gus Grissom, James Irwin, Edgar Mitchell, Walter Schirra, Thomas Stafford, and Paul Weitz. As a matter of fact, Buzz Aldrin took a personal item on the Apollo 11 mission, a hand-embroidered flag of the Scottish Rite Southern Jurisdiction. And he bragged about it, too. What you need to know about the Masonic religion and NASA's military command and operations. They conceal its secrets from all except the adepts and sages or the elect, and use false explanations and misinterpretations of its symbols to mislead those who deserve only to be misled. And here's Albert Pike saying, yes, Lucifer is God. Wonderful. Good stuff. NASA and Freemasonry is just the opening of a rabbit hole to a very dark underworld that has intentionally been hidden from the masses for thousands of years. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Well, there must be no evil then. No. The NASA Freemasonic fraud is the cornerstone of one of the greatest end-time deceptions ever. With it in place, the deceit is undetectable, and the illusion of scientific facts supporting it remains believable. Shine the light of truth on it, and like ratchets, roaches, they're going to scatter. And ratchets, too. If you shine light on some ratchet people, then they're going to scatter. And the colossal hoax and everything connected to it is exposed for exactly what it is. A Luciferian lie to deceive, rob, and control the masses. Andrew, you're modded. Good to see you in the chat. All right, well, I think that's it for the NASA presentation. Let me skip out of the keynote real quick, go back to OBS. I do think I've got a video capture in here so you guys can say hi. Hey guys, I love you. Thanks for watching. I got some interviews scheduled in the future. And if you enjoyed the video, please share it with someone, hopefully someone you love and care about. And anything you want to see in the future, I know I need to do some more flat smacking and whatnot. I got to get back out there. But I love you guys. Remember, keep it vegan. Research flat earth. Truth is incontrovertible. Malice will attack it. Ignorance will try and deride it. But in the end, there it is. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Awesome show, said Wes. Thanks so much. D. Russ, good to see you in there. Drunken Bird, good to see you too. Wilson, good to see you. Warning Skydome, good to see all you guys. Stay blessed. I'll see you in the next video. Peace. What do we got here?